Get ready for your weekly dose of informative and inspiring lifestyle content with me, your host, Brooke Monks, where we dive into ways to help you look, feel, and be your best. Welcome to Becoming Authentically You. I'm your host, Brooke Monks, and I bring you informative and inspiring lifestyle content every week to help you look, feel, and be your best. Please help me welcome my very good friend and our guest, Melissa Bognar. Melissa is a mom of two. She is an animal lover, a total athletic daredevil. She actually even broke her thumb. She's such a daredevil. And she thrives in nature. But the real reason that Melissa is here today is because she's a holistic nutritionist. So welcome, Melissa.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm so excited to do this with you. And we're totally jumping into one of the hottest topics in health and nutrition. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So today we want to talk about non-GMO foods versus organic and really dive into which one is better, if at all. We're going to discover that. All right. So Melissa, I've always wanted to better understand the difference between foods that are non-GMO and foods that are organic. So would you be able to help us and really distinguish the difference between the two?
I'm so glad you asked me because there's so much confusion around this. You'll have to pardon my notes. There's so much information. I wanted to make sure that I get it all in for everybody.
Totally, yeah.
So first off, a GMO, genetically modified organism, is a living organism that has had its genetic material artificially manipulated in a laboratory setting with genetic engineering.
Like a frankenfood?
A frankenfood.
Okay.
It's a frankenfood. Yeah.
All right.
So you're creating plant, animal, bacteria, and virus genes that do not occur in nature or through traditional crossbreeding methods.
Okay.
So GMOs are engineered to withstand direct applications of pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides.
Got it.
To artificially develop other traits such as drought resistance in crops and the apples, resisting browning.
Okay.
And also to create new organisms using synthetic biology. So currently, Canada has no regulation for labeling GMOs. Which gave rise to the Non-GMO project in 2007.
Okay.
So you'll see a little label on food boxes.
I've seen that.
Yes, so that's companies that are voluntarily going through a rigorous verification process with this organization to say, I have no GMO products in this box, no GMO ingredients.
So it is regulated-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
Voluntarily through the company. The company has to pay for this label to be put on their product to state, I have no GMOs in here.
Got it.
And that label, it means that there's no artificial manipulation of genetic material within the product or the ingredients.
Got it.
Okay. And then, so organic food and fiber, such as your cotton clothing, it's grown and made without GMOs, without nanotechnology, synthetic preservatives, artificial coloring, synthetic chemicals like herbicides and pesticides, without hormones, antibiotics, chemical fertilizers, sewage, sludge, and irradiation.
Wow.
Yeah, so the organic certification in Canada also requires a humane treatment of animals.
Yay!
Yay! And the preservation of ecological integrity.
Okay.
As well as complete traceability from farm to plate.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
you know where your food is coming from.
I like that. Okay.
So non-GMO foods can be grown using organic agricultural practices or the non-organic traditional farming practices.
Okay.
Now, the organic foods are grown without any chemical intervention or contamination.
Oh.
So organic food is always non-GMO.
Oh.
But non-GMO isn't always organic.
Okay. I like that. That's a really good point to remember. Okay, so it sounds like organic is kind of the purest of all the foods.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So, did you have another question for me?
I do. I could just listen to you all day. That's really what's happening. I'm just staring at you with my heart eyes. Okay, so ultimately, I feel like everything that we do, every decision that we make is driven by our priorities and also our budget. So when it comes to grocery shopping, knowing that we all have a limited budget that we're working with, which foods would you suggest that people only and always get organic, and which ones are okay to buy non-GMO?
Well, the Environmental Working Group is a not-for-profit organization, and they publish a list of the Dirty Dozen every year. So these are the fruits and vegetables that are found to have the highest pesticide residue, and that's generally when grown conventionally versus organically.
Okay.
So they use 40,900 samples of 47 different produce samples.
Okay.
And they came out with these 12 that have the highest pesticide residue.
Okay.
So those, are you ready?
No, I'm not. I've probably been eating them all. Okay, go.
Strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, potatoes, celery, tomatoes, pears, cherries, and peaches.
Wow. I'm very surprised that potatoes are on there.
Well, they spray for potato bugs.
Ugh. Okay.
So these are the foods that I would be purchasing organically.
Okay.
If I had the option to do so.
Okay.
And then if you're concerned further about pesticide residues, they also come out with a list of the Clean 15.
Ooh.
Yes. So these are the conventional growers that have the least amount of pesticide residue on them, or on their produce.
Yeah.
So there's avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, frozen sweet peas, onions, papayas, eggplants, asparagus, honeydew melons, mushroom, broccoli, cantaloupes, cauliflower, cabbages, and kiwis.
That's interesting. So a lot of those foods had like a thick peel or like a thick skin, but some of them didn't, like cauliflower. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so when I'm grocery shopping, I always recommend organic first, but if that's not available or feasible, then opt for a non-GMO product. And then the Non-GMO project actually came out with another list of the highest risk GMO foods. Because there's no regulation to, determine what's GMO or not. This list came from this organization.
Okay.
So these are the ones that are most likely to be GMO.
Like super GMO, like super Frankenfoods.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I guess?
Sure.
I think two of them. Corn and soybeans.
Those are both on the list.
Okay, yes.
They're not at the top. No. Nope. The top one is alfalfa.
What?
And that's what we're feeding to our production animals.
Oh.
Right? So it's in our meat.
Okay.
Canola, it's up there. It's like 98% GMO.
Yeah, please get off the canola oil. It's so bad for you. Okay.
And then there's corn, but not popcorn.
Really?
Popcorn is non-GMO.
Okay.
Yeah. There's cotton and papaya, soy, sugar beets.
Papaya.
Yep. Zucchini, yellow summer squash, and potatoes.
Okay.
You've got your meat, eggs, and milk. Your apiculture products like honey. Your aquaculture products such as fish.
Oh, I've never heard that word. Aquaculture.
Yes.
That's a good one. Okay.
And then gelatin, hides, and skin.
Okay.
So these are the foods I would be also buying organic. If not, then specifically labeled non-GMO.
Okay. Wow.
So the best way to buy your food is locally, right?
Absolutely.
You go talk to your farmer. You can ask them, where'd you get the seed? What is the soil? What's in the soil? What did you put in the soil? What did you spray on your vegetables, right? So you know exactly how your food is grown and what's going into it.
Absolutely. My mom does that all the time, and I think it's really great because I feel like you have to really advocate for yourself. Sometimes the companies or even the farmers don't necessarily have your best intentions at heart, right? So get informed and, like you said, ask questions. I think that's really important.
Your local farmer might not be spraying with any pesticides at all, but they don't have that organic certification because that's a whole rigorous process on its own. Right. But it could be very close to organic. And you don't know that unless you go and ask them.
Yeah, and it just tastes better, right? It tastes so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you've done a really great job, so thank you, at explaining the difference between the non-GMO and the organic. is there any research out there that kind of explains what happens, what impact there is on humans when we consume foods that are not organic, or when we consume foods that are genetically modified? Is there anything?
There's not much research out there in regards to the health benefits or implications with GMO foods.
Okay.
The major health concerns listed by the World Health Organization include the direct health effects such as toxicity, allergic reactions or allergies, the stability of the inserted gene, the nutritional effects associated with gene modification, and any unintended effects that they may not know about. So time and research are definitely needed to look further into GMOs and the health concerns there. But on the other hand, the organic foods avoid the synthetic pesticides that are linked to lymphoma and leukemia. Okay. They avoid the herbicides such as glyphosate or Roundup, which is linked to kidney disease, breast cancer, birth defects, and the increasing incidence of autoimmune and neurological disorders. Wow. You're avoiding ingredients with residues from the neurotoxin hexane. Yeah. You're avoiding sewage sludge, which is human waste. Yeah, that's used to fertilize the fields, and that can be contaminated with endocrine disruptors, which is hormones. Right. Oh, that's a big one. And heavy metals. Wow. You're avoiding growth-promoting antibiotics that can contribute to weight gain and antibiotic resistance. So your superbugs. Right? Wow. You're avoiding ractopamine drug residues, which can lead to disease risk for your cardiovascular system, so your heart issues. Jeez. So a lot of today's diseases and disorders and health issues, they very well could be coming from the food that we're eating. Wow. I met this immunologist one day. I mean, how random is it to meet an immunologist? And he had told me that he was a part of a study where they were investigating organic and non-organic foods. And because I said to him, like, what do you eat at home? Like, that's what I want to follow, right? Like, these people who really know, what are they doing? And I'm going to do that. And he said to me that go organic, because what happens is that pesticide that builds up on the skin of, let's say, blueberries, when you consume it, he said that actually that toxicity stays in your body, and it just keeps layering and layering and layering, and your body, your kidney, whatever, it can't filter that out. And my first thought was not me, but it was my kids, right? Just thinking about from the age of 1 day old, well, I guess 6 months old when they start eating, to think that the foods that I thought were good for them could potentially be putting toxins in their body, chemicals that'll never go away, is horrifying. So thank you, because I think this is a really big topic that people need to invest some time in and really learn more, right? Absolutely. Yeah. So the takeaway that I want to give is the best practice is to eat locally grown food. Talk to your farmers, find out where your food is coming from. That's very important to know. Yeah. You want to read your labels. If you can't pronounce it or you don't recognize the ingredients, don't buy it. Don't eat it. Yeah. And then just focus on eating natural, alive, and good quality foods. But what do you mean by alive? Fruits and vegetables. Okay. Don't go bite a cow. But that would hurt the cow, right? That would be inhumane. So you want to make sure that you're getting good quality foods. But when it comes down to it, if you've got spinach and you have no option to eat organic spinach, eat the spinach, because the benefit of the spinach is going to outweigh the negative effects of the chemicals. Got it. Okay. You know, you don't want to be afraid of eating fruits and vegetables, but you do want to try to strive for the best. And I think that's such a great way to kind of culminate this. When it comes to health, I think it's always just choosing the lesser of the two evils, right? Like making the healthiest choice. Absolutely. Right? Doing your best. So if anyone would like to reach out to you, what's the best way to connect? I have a website. It's rootedlifenutrition.com, so you can find me there. That's awesome. So thank you again, Melissa. That was really valuable. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next week on Becoming Authentically You.